Hello.
Hello, how are you doing?
I'm good, and you?
Good, thank you. My name is Yuta. I am currently here with my colleague,
Yoshida from the Tokyo office, BCG Tokyo office. Thank you very much for taking your time.
We really appreciate it.
Absolutely. I hope it's valuable to you.
Thank you. So, to give you a little bit of context about essentially what we're doing and what we would like to talk to you about during this call is we're looking a little bit into the AR and MR market to better understand how it might play out in the future. And specifically within that, we're looking to understand a little bit better about sports, live, game, entertainment, e-commerce type of applications. Here, what we're curious about to find out a little bit is, we sort of see applications in VR, but are there any potential, different applications of AR, and how is this going to look in a MR type of world in the future? So that's one thing that we wanted to sort of get out, trying to understand a little bit. Then in addition, we sort of wanted to gain a high level perspective about your opinion in terms of how this market is going to move. So are we going to go from B2B to B2C type of transition? Is there a step in the middle? What kind of transformations are we going to see in terms of the devices that we're going to use? What do you see as a potential timeline, right? And then third, we wanted to sort of get your perspective in terms of from having worked at Magic Leap. Do you think what kind of struggles did you encounter, and what would have been helpful for you in terms of not so much from just a development perspective, but in terms of a business perspective? What kind of perhaps external support and stuff would have been helpful for you during that process? Yeah, or in the future, sort of scenario, exactly. Thank you.
Yeah.
So if that sounds all good to you, we would love to dig in a little bit deeper. Perfect.
That sounds great, and I'm actually really happy we're talking today instead of, say, 2 days ago, because now that Magic Leap 1 is announced or released and shipping, I can say more than I could 2 days ago.
That's perfect. That's perfect. Great timing, huh? Great. So, talking a little bit first about, actually, let's talk about the second point first, sorry. Just in general timeline. Our understanding right now is that, we're gonna see, AR, and MR, but really AR being adopted, a little bit more heavily in the business-to-business market. Let's say for the next 2 to 3 years. We have this understanding that perhaps players like Microsoft or something like that might really try to leverage AR expertise a little bit more to essentially maybe offer different services or stuff like, or applications for other businesses. And then gradually we might transition into this phase where there's going to be a little bit more of a business-to-business to perhaps consumer type of applications. So examples that we can sort of come up there is perhaps live entertainment in a sort of a virtual stadium type of perspective, or I don't know, sort of imagining Disney coming up with something interesting in that space. And then at the same time, or maybe a little bit before, a little bit after, have essentially games becoming more widespread. I guess it's a business to consumer type of point of view, where games are gonna start using more AR, sort of like Pokemon Go, but